Hi guys, I just wanted to get a video out today sharing what it is exactly that I've been buying since I started making these YouTube videos and seriously investing in sealed Pokemon and Magic cards a little over a month ago now. Just to quickly preface this video, I do want to say that I haven't just randomly one day woken up with the impulse to start YOLOing into cards because I like cards or something stupid like that. This card investment theory I've arrived at after a fair bit of thought, and ultimately due to different macroeconomic variables, I think that cards are actually, in this strange world that we live in, probably the best risk to reward play right now for any financial market. And we've started discussing a few reasons as to why that is in our other videos. And it's something that I'm going to keep talking about because I think it's quite interesting to see where cards fit right now and in the future of markets, and how, there's so many parallels that can be drawn to the earlier days of other more well-established financial markets to what is now a very small card market that I see becoming a serious big player in the financial markets, a bit like how crypto has become a big market out of nowhere in the last 15 years. I guess we won't go too much into the macro side of things today because that's a whole video or many videos in themselves. But I will, just start getting into what I've been buying. It's been no secret, like in my previous videos, I've laid out where I think the most opportunity is at the moment, specifically Magic collector boxes right now, in my opinion. But I've been buying some Pokemon and stuff like that as well. So I'm just going to quickly start I don't have a great setup here, so I'm just going to have to hold the stuff in front of the camera. But Spider-Man collector boxes. So these guys here are a very neglected product, and this is going to be a theme for pretty much all the Magic that I've been buying. The theory behind buying the neglected products, it's like buying a stock that's down in the gutter. You want to buy low and sell high. I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. We know that these collector boxes now are not going to be reprinted. Hasbro and Wizards have very much changed the way that they do things. The days of collector boxes being reprinted are over. When Spider-Man collector boxes and some of these other collector boxes we're about to look at are down 40, 50, 60% from the highs, it's a great buying opportunity in my experience. I think this is something, just quickly, a bit of a sidetrack. This is something that a lot of people that haven't spent time in financial markets but treat cards as an investment or like a market. This is something that a lot of people I've noticed in cards don't really understand. And I think it's just that lack of experience from being in like the stock market or crypto, forex, whatever. It applies to cards. If cards are down half price and it's a good product, chances are it's a good time to buy. You're giving yourself much more upside potential, and I think, depending on the product, but in the case of these collector boxes that we know won't be reprinted, the risk, the downside is very minimal. So that's sort of the key idea behind these collector boxes, and why I'm picking them over Pokemon for the most part for now. So we got a couple Spider-Man collector boxes. I picked them up for, I'm not sure how I should be quoting these prices, but I'm just going to do Australian dollars. It's easier for me. So I think I got them for somewhere between $400 and $500. It might have even been 400. And this is another good tip actually for anyone that's looking to replicate not necessarily replicate what I'm doing, but that's looking to invest in Magic product, particularly here in Australia. I'm buying these collector boxes from small LGSs, small, medium, large local game stores that have websites, essentially. Gives me access to game stores across the whole country. And what I'm finding is that, with all these big new card games pumping out new releases all the time, it seems as though that these card shops are pretty strapped for liquidity, and whatever product they have, quite often they have to fire sell just to raise the liquidity, the capital to buy into these new releases. That's what it seems like to me anyway. So that's just a little pro tip if anyone's looking here in Australia to pick up cheap collector boxes. That's what I've been doing. Not a single one of these collector boxes have I paid market price for, although I think paying market price for anything that I'm going to show today is completely fine, because I think it's way undervalued. So moving on from Spider-Man, we've got one of the most hated sets, Turtles. I'm not sure what's hated more, Turtles or Spider-Man. So I've gone pretty heavy this month on Turtles for, my bankroll. I'm not trying to pretend I've got a heap of money or anything like that. I work 6 days a week to be able to just afford these. So, for me, 5 Turtles collector boxes is a lot of money. So I've gone pretty big into Turtles this month. Same sort of theory as Spider-Man collectors, unloved product, I think artificially low because of the tendency for prices to undershoot what a natural bottom should be. And then also, when these, if I'm right, and I think I am, that these local cards game shops are strapped for liquidity. Really, they are selling for pretty big unders just because they have to. So it's sort of being sold artificially low on their end, as well as a market price that is probably too low and needs correcting. So that's the Turtles collector boxes. I've also picked up just a Turtles draft night and one of these pizza boxes. They've got collector packs in them. I got them I got these for $80 each. So already up on those. I wish I had got more of these Turtles pizza boxes. They're, for some reason, I don't know if it's like this globally, but they're actually quite hard to get here in Australia. Even though I managed to get this one quite cheap, there was purchase limit orders of just one from the retailer that I was getting it off. However, if I can get more, I probably will, because I think, it's got the collector pack. What else does it have in here? 14 play boosters, and obviously just this unique design, and there's some, I don't know the exact details, but there's some exclusive pizza cards or something in there. So I think that product will age quite well. Also picked up one of these Marvel superhero boxes. Probably not as good a buy right now, I don't think, as like Turtles, Spider-Man, Avatar, Lawn, some of these slightly more aged collector boxes. But I was just seeing a lot of people rip these open on release and seem quite happy with it. And I managed to find a game shop clearing this out for about $500. So I got it way under market price and figured I might as well just have some exposure to it, since it seems to be quite a highly regarded product so far. Now, coming to the end of the Magic that I've been able to get this month, I've got a couple of these Avatar play boxes. These have probably appreciated the most, actually, out of everything I've bought so far. And look, I'm not worried at all about the short term. Like everything I'm buying here, this is a 5, 10, 15 year plan to hold this stuff, and you know, it's nice to sort of, like, I enjoy watching the prices fluctuate and the volatility. It's interesting to me. It's just interesting for some reason to my mind, the way that markets work. But you know, whether it's up or down, at the end of the day, I'll be sleeping easy because I don't care what these things do on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, two of these Avatar play boxes. Everything else that I've bought has been collector boxes, and I do prefer the collector stuff. I think it's a product that's really designed quite beautifully to appreciate in the long run, and just some of the high value cards in the collector boxes. I mean, who knows what they'll be worth in 10, 15 years. It's still a new product, collector boxes. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the collector boxes in the long run. But I couldn't say no to these Avatar play boxes because I got them for about $100 each, and I think they're all, already back over 200. So that was the theory behind them. We've also picked up a couple of Pokemon booster boxes just to have some exposure. I do hope to pick up a lot more Pokemon moving forwards. I don't necessarily think Magic is better. I just think at the moment Magic's cheaper, and I think, yeah, if anything, Pokemon might be overpriced, and I'm fairly certain that Magic is way underpriced right now. So that's why I'm a little heavier on the Magic. But yeah, anyway, we do still have some Pokemon. So I bought this Chilling Reign box, and also we picked up a Surging Sparks box. The other Pokemon thing I bought is this, fucked if I even know what this thing's called, big Charizard looking thing. Well, it is a Charizard. So, you know, Charizard's always good. That's about as much thought as that went into that one, and I picked that box up for way under market price. The Pokemon Center restocked this, and I just got lucky and got it. So that's how I got it way under market price. Do want to just quickly touch on The Hobbit. Obviously, The Hobbit has just come out, and that is one thing I haven't been able to show off here in my video. Is I did pre-order. I actually pre-ordered 4 of the Hobbit collector boxes, so they'll be getting here next week. You know, it's hard to say. I've got no idea what this product's going to look like over the next 1, 2, 3 weeks. I expect a bit of volatility just with all the hype around it, and nothing too hectic has happened on a lot of the more modern Magic sets. I think everyone's sort of waiting for something. So we'll see what happens there. I think with The Hobbit, there's just so much excitement around it and so much demand. We know it's we know that sort of IP goes well with Magic after what the Lord of the Rings has done, that I do think you can't go wrong with it in the long term. If you're trying to flip and scalp, there's tremendous risk buying it right now up near $1,000 at release, because you know when it's worth that much, it doesn't take a lot. Sorry, it's bloody insect flying around here. But yeah, when you're buying these brand new collector boxes for $1,000, if you're trying to make a quick buck, yeah, there's a lot of risk there in that. But I don't see much risk in the long term. When you look at some of these more highly regarded Magic collector boxes that have been around for, you know, a couple of years now, that are pushing well over $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, like your Final Fantasies, your Lord of the Rings, some of your more successful sets. It's only a matter of time until The Hobbit ends up there. So I think you can't go wrong with The Hobbit. If you can play the long game, you're not exposed to leverage or anything like that. And that's going to really be the key to success for my plan moving forward, and anyone who's trying to do anything like this. Is it's got to be a sustainable plan, and you can't open yourself up to risks with leverage, because this market is a tiny market. I know when we're in it and we're talking to people that are in it and watching YouTube videos and that sort of thing from people that are deep into this market, that it can feel like it's a big market. But this market is absolutely tiny, and the volatility reflects that. So for those of you that haven't been around who haven't traded and invested in other small markets, like say early day crypto, you might not realize just how crazy the volatility can be, and just how quickly, or not how quickly, but it's really just a matter of time until leverage gets you in trouble in these smaller markets that just have inherent volatility. So that's a bit of a tangent off of just showcasing my investments, but I would like to make a point of that for anyone who's still watching. Just be careful with leverage, because I've traded different markets for like 10 years now. I got into trading when I was 15, and I'm now 25, and I've had some successes trading in the past with leverage and that sort of thing, but every time eventually I'd blow up. So I've learnt the hard way, and hopefully not too many people in cards have to sort of learn the same lessons, because it's an expensive lesson to learn. So just going to leave it there. Thanks, guys.